There was a new Egyptian king that came to power, who thought the Israelites were pests. So the Egyptians made them slaves. The Egyptians worked them ruthlessly and made them make bricks and work in the fields. To slowly eliminate the Israelites, Pharaoh ordered the midwives to kill off newborn boys, but let newborn girls live. The midwives didn't do this, however, so God was kind to them. Pharaoh changed his order and now wants every Hebrew boy that is born to be thrown into the Nile River. 2 Levites gave birth to a son. The child's mother made him a basket and hid it in the reeds of the Nile. Pharaoh's daughter found this basket, and the child's sister was watching nearby. Pharaoh's daughter wanted a Hebrew woman to care for the child, so the child's sister brought the child's mother to care for him. When he grew up, he became Pharaoh's daughter's son. She named him Moses. Moses was watching his people work one day and saw an Egyptian beating a slave. Moses killed the Egyptian and buried him in the sand.
The next day,
He saw 2 Hebrews fighting. He asked why, and one responded, "Do you want to kill me like you killed that Egyptian?" Moses' bad deed was now known, and Pharaoh tried to kill him, but he fled. He stayed at a man named Reuel's house, who gave Moses his granddaughter, Zipporah, to marry. The king of Egypt died, and the Israelites cried out to God, who felt bad for them. While Moses was tending to livestock, the angel of the Lord lit a nearby bush on fire. He went to look at this strange bush, which was on fire, but didn't burn. God talked to him through the bush, and told him to take off his shoes. God told him that he had heard the cries of the Israelites and wanted to free them, promising the Holy Land, a land that flowed with milk and honey. He told Moses to perform signs to prove the existence of God to Pharaoh. But Moses was too scared, so God had to convince him to do it with his brother Aaron. So Moses talked to Pharaoh to let their people go, but Pharaoh just made them work harder, because now they have to harvest the straw for the bricks. Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh. Aaron threw his staff on the floor, turning it into a snake. Pharaoh's sorcerers were able to do the same thing, but Aaron's snake ate all of the other snakes. God then sentenced plagues of blood, frogs, gnats, flies, plague on livestock, boils, hail, locusts, darkness, and finally, he killed every firstborn of every family who didn't put a perfect lamb's blood around their door. After all of this, Pharaoh finally agreed to let the Israelites go. Pharaoh immediately changed his mind because he was so hard-hearted and sent an army to chase after them. The Israelites were trapped behind the Red Sea, so God created smoke to distract the army, while Moses used his staff to split the Red Sea for them to safely cross, closing it again to swallow Pharaoh's soldiers. The Israelites were now stranded in the desert and didn't have food. God provided a rice-like food called manna and a lot of quail. But now they needed water, so Moses took a rock and broke it open with his staff, creating water. Suddenly the Amalekites attacked their camp. Moses told them that as long as he kept his hands raised, they would be winning the battle. But soon Moses grew tired, so Aaron and Joshua, an important man from Israel, held Moses' hands up in the air so they could remain winning the battle. Moses sent his wife, Zipporah, back home to her father. She returned with him shortly after. Jethro, Zipporah's father, advised creating judges to help Moses with settling disputes. Moses did this by choosing capable men from each tribe. They camped in front of Mount Sinai. People who touched the mountain before the ram horn sounded were stoned to death. God descended dramatically to the mountain with loud trumpet blasts. God called Moses up to the mountain. The other people were too scared to go up there, so God told Moses to bring Aaron up there. God gave Moses the 10 Commandments to write on stones. No idols. Don't make yourself an image of God. Don't misuse his name. Remember the Sabbath day. Honor your mother and father. No murder. No adultery. No stealing. No false testimonies about your neighbor. And don't covet anything your neighbor owns. The Israelites agreed to follow all of God's terms. The Lord had some Israelites make an ark, the Ark of the Covenant. This ensures God's promise to keep them safe and bring them to the Promised Land. They built a tabernacle with a special table and lampstand. There was also an altar for sacrifices made using special instructions from the Lord. Moses was up on the mountain for several days at times, and one time when he was coming down the mountain with 2 stone tablets containing the covenant law, the Israelites were all worshipping a golden calf. Moses was very angry. He threw the tablets on the ground, and they shattered. The calf was made by Aaron, who held a festival with sacrifices to it. Moses convinced God not to destroy them, but they all suffered a plague. God then told them to continue without him because they might make him so angry that he just straight up kills them all. God had Moses make 2 new stone tablets, just like the first 2. When Moses came down from the mountain, his face was glowing. The people were frightened, so Moses put a veil over his face. As the Israelites finished building the tabernacle, Moses inspected it. He placed the fancy lampstand and the table inside the tabernacle. The cloud settled on the tent of meeting, and whenever it lifted is when they set out for the next part of their journey. They were led by a cloud by day and by a pillar of fire by night.